And so when you say things like this, all you're doing is trying to cope. You're very high on your own copium. And so many people said, oh, it takes a big man to admit it. Does it really take a big man to admit something when they've been caught in 4K? Coach Greg, and in today's video, we're gonna go over the aftermath of the whole Logan Dishman thing. This guy's in the hospital and he almost dies. And so he makes it, he survives. And so what do you think he did the first day that he comes out? He injected more steroids. I mean, I can't believe the nerve of this guy. And so I'm looking in my DMs and lo and behold, Logan Dishman messaged me almost a year ago. He sends me a before and after transformation. And so within 1 second of watching that video, I could see this kid is on steroids. And he says, do you have any coaching spots available? And so I left it unread. I'm thinking, I don't want to coach a 17-year-old kid who's on steroids. And thankfully, I did not. Imagine if I had taken him on. Oh, this kid, he has so much promise. He's so strong. He bench presses hundreds of pounds, getting close to 1,000. And imagine if I was coaching him through all of this. What do you think people would have said? Coach Greg is a horrible human being. I can't believe he let him do this. And so thankfully, I have no responsibility for having coached him. And so based on all that happened, I did a video on it. Of course, warning kids of the dangers of taking steroids and so on. And in this video and throughout, I mostly blamed the parents. I said, you know, it's the parents' one job to be responsible for their kids and to make sure that they're safe. And so what does he comment on my video? Maybe I lied for a while, but preying on my downfall when I had no guidance and thought I was doing things good, then ended up hospitalized instead of trying to help isn't right of you, Greg. And so 324 people responded and said, it's not Greg's fault. Maybe you should take responsibility for your own actions. I mean, let's analyze this sentence. Maybe I lied. Maybe he said he was 100% natural. Maybe I lied. I mean, I don't understand why it's maybe. Why wasn't the comment, yes, you're right, I lied. I shouldn't have done this. I had no guidance and thought I was doing things good. Raise your hand out there. I mean, this video probably get 100,000 views or more. How many of you out of the 100,000 people don't know any better than to reuse dirty needles? Raise your hand out there. I didn't have any guidance. How many of you think that you can reuse the same steroid needle and keep injecting it? How many of you think that using Tren, Ment, SARMs are safe? Nobody, I repeat, not a single person in the world believes this. And so when you say things like this, all you're doing is trying to cope. You're very high on your own copium. On further reflection, he decides, you know what? I'm going to finally admit that I'm not natural. And so many people said, oh, it takes a big man to admit it. Does it really take a big man to admit something when they've been caught in 4K? And so I'm thinking, well, this is at least good. He no longer says he's 100% natural. He says, hey, full disclosure, I'm going to show my cycle. Let's see what he then shows. And so March 2024, at 16 years of age, RAD 140, 10 milligrams in MK677 question mark. And so he took MK677, which is very dangerous, especially for teenagers. And so what teenagers are thinking is, well, because it doesn't shut you down, that it's actually safe. Now, the problem is it potentially can be even more dangerous for your health than injecting androgens. And by those, I mean steroids. And so depending on your body fat percentage, your risk of developing diabetes, as well as your risk of developing cancer, it can do even more harm to you than potentially steroids. And the problem is you don't know that going in. And it can also precipitate heart failure even faster than steroids. I bet you did not know that. Again, the problem is you don't know if you're one of those individuals or if you're not. Some people can get lucky and do it, no problem. Others, it's over. And so October 2024, at 17 years of age, we have RAD 140 at 33 milligrams, as well as LGD at 20 milligrams, including enclomiphene at 30 milligrams, 20 weeks. Do you know how strong of a dose of SARMs that actually is? It's stronger than I'd ever taken in my entire life. RAD 140, it's very, very strong. LGD, also very strong. And compared to Ostarine, the Ostarine's like a baby SARM in compared to this. And so if you're taking RAD 140 at this dose in LGD, it's going to absolutely be shutting you down. And and we've all seen it. We've seen his blood work. And so that's what it's going to do. It's going to lead to you having a horrible, horrendous set of blood work. And if a problem develops, well, you're going to end up in hospital and you might not even survive. It then says June 2025, Ment A, 70 milligrams. Ment is exceptionally strong. Injected LGD, injected YK11. Now, here's what he doesn't disclose. What about the tren? Remember we showed the screenshots? He injected 600 milligrams of tren the day before working out with Larry Wheels. And so let's pretend that that was a joke. And he was just kidding. He was just bragging to his friends or whatever, hey, I injected 600 milligrams of tren, but he didn't actually do that. And so after that came out, he made a video and he commented and said, I didn't inject 600 milligrams of tren, it was only 100 milligrams. And so he's trying to downplay it. Now that he's come clean, he didn't inject any tren whatsoever. How many of you believe that? How many of you believe that a kid that impressed Larry Wheels to this extent, that had this horrendous of blood work, was just making it up? 600 milligrams, then 100, and then it was nothing. I think that would be equivalent to me saying, you know what, guys? I'm 100% natural lifetime. I just made it up. I made up that I'm on HRT, 140 milligrams a week, because I wanted you all to feel better about yourselves because I'm just 1 in a million genetics and I look like this at 49 because of my genetics. It had nothing to do with HRT, nothing to do with anything I've done in the past. And so there's literally video of him injecting testosterone the day he comes out. And so he reposted this on his Instagram. Moral of the story is don't do anything without proper guidance. Something I didn't have the whole time and almost cost me my own life. After all the exposure, I am now getting proper guidance and I'm going to pursue bettering my health to be a better bodybuilder in the future. And most importantly, to keep myself alive. I didn't know I had bad blood work or what I was doing 100% because, like I said, no guidance. Let me just stop him right there. He got the blood work done and he's 17 years old, and unless his IQ is 2 or 3 standard deviations below the mean, and so, 55 to 70 or less, there's no way that that is possible. And here's why. He did the blood work and posted it because his testosterone was in the normal reference range, and so he said, here's proof that I'm natural. And so he posted the blood work in order to brag, to carry on with the lie. But within this blood work, you could clearly see all of the markers. It says what normal is, and then it says on the right if it's high or low. And so when your HDL is supposed to be 5 times higher than it is, and it says 10, you know that it's bad. When every single marker there is out of the reference range, you automatically know that it's bad. And so my only question is, why didn't the doctor interview, whoever saw this blood work, usually somebody reads it, a doctor of some sort, and they look at it and they say, wow, this kid's clearly on steroids, clearly up, and so we have to intervene. I don't understand how it works. Now remember, I'm in Canada. Maybe it's different in the United States, but this is a minor. He's 17 years of age. And so I'm assuming they would tell the parents, hey, parents, we're going to, because of the blood work, we're going to investigate what's going on. Perhaps call child services, because if you're allowing someone to do this, then he's not in a safe environment. And so let's make a comparison. If he was drinking, I don't know, a quart of vodka every day for 6 months straight, something that obviously is very bad, would you say that he's in a good, stable environment, that the parents are doing what they should be? I would say it's child, and it ends with use, the abs with that word. I think it's bad, and I think that the kid should have a chance at living a normal life. And so if the parents allow this after being warned, hey, did you know this is happening? This is what's going on. We need to make changes. Something's wrong with the medical system if they can allow this to be gotten away with. It's a minor. Now, if he's an adult, hey, it's on him. But when you're a kid doing this, it's got to be up to the parents. Now, here's the thing. Do you know how many messages I get from people around the world? Like hundreds of messages of teenagers every single day. Multiple teenagers write me. Hey, is it okay for me to do MK677? I know it won't shut me down. I want to get jacked like Julian. I never said that Julian did MK677. I said it's possible that he did, that I couldn't prove that he's not, because I'm not going to lie, I can't prove it. Do I think he did? Absolutely not. Just because you think that Julian used MK doesn't mean you're going to end up looking like Julian. And so stop with it. Next, Oh, can I do this cycle? It's going to be anavar and clomiphene. I'm 17 years of age. Well, you can do anything, but doesn't mean that you should. And so please be careful. But not only are they 17-year-old kids, 16, 15, and as young as 14, and they are planning, that's right, planning to go on steroids. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. And they're famous. What am I supposed to say? How do I convince a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old to not use steroids? Have I not made almost every single video saying that this is moronic to wait until you're older, at least 25, before your brain finishes developing? And so how am I supposed to tell kids not to do this? And so these teenagers, they're going to do it in secret behind their parents' backs. What am I supposed to do? I'm making this video right now so that you hear this. And so if you're a parent watching this and thinking, there's no way that my kid would ever do this, think back to when you were a teenager. Would you have ever done anything behind your parents' backs? I don't know. Drank some beers with your friends, maybe smoked something behind the dugout at the school, whatever. Maybe perhaps even had sexy time. Oh, mom and dad, I'll never do this. I'll never do that. No, trust me, I haven't done it. And then 6 weeks later, they find out that you're pregnant. Shit happens. And so if you're a parent, try to get involved in your kid's life. And just because they say I'm natural, just because they say I would never do that, no, it's those people, doesn't mean that they actually are. Trust me, there's pressures greater now than ever before, and people, they want to be famous. And even if they already are famous, they want even more fame. Just because you have an incredible physique and you're 14 or 15 years of age, don't think that, oh, because they look so great, they're not going to be tempted. They're going to be more tempted. The better you look, the more tempted you are to look even better. There is no end. You're going to continue to move the bar. And so if you start using MK677 as a teenager, do you think that's going to make you happy? You might put on 5 pounds of muscle. It's not going to put a lot. You're going to think, oh, well, that's a good start. Now I need clomiphene. Now I need LGD. Now I need Rad 140. And sooner or later, you're going to have this kind of blood work. And if you ever stop taking it, you're going to lose a lot of those gains and it's going to shut you down. All good things come to an end. And so if you're taking something, as soon as it's removed, the muscles, they start going down. The strength goes down. Sex drive goes down. You feel like garbage. And so if you ever start taking SARMs, if you ever start taking steroids, if you ever start taking MK677 and you stop, you're going to hate it. And so what you need to do is stop thinking about it and don't even start. Now, I don't recommend teenagers use supplements. For example, Turk Builder Max, Turk Platinum, GO2 Max, creatine, none of this stuff. I don't think you need any of it. But if you're older, you're no longer a teenager, you're an adult, and you've hit a plateau, you can, of course, use HTLT supplements. Now, before you're older, just go to the gym, train consistently. You don't even need to train that hard. Consistently go to the gym and you're going to make gains. I don't care if you use proper form, bad form. You just do whatever you want. You're going to make gains. But if you want to have a consistent program, I offer a free diet and training program, giving away over 110,000 of these, and I want to give away more. And so click the link in the description and simply ask for it and you are going to get it. And if you want to have training and coaching with Coach Greg, I've reduced the prices. Many of you can afford this. And so apply by clicking below. And so it's sad to see this. Hopefully Logan can not use steroids. I believe he thinks he's getting proper coaching now. Proper coaching to use steroids when you're 17. The only proper coaching would be if he's going off and the coach is teaching him how to get back to normal. How to train without using steroids. There's no way that his body can go through all this. It's going to take months and or years, and he won't even get back to normal. There's permanent damage being done. And so please do not use steroids. Think twice and then say no. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, cookbooks, training books, the Circle Diet book, the clothing line. Get to the website, code Greg 15% off. And until next time, I am out.